You're welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. The message of love for country, commonly referred to as patriotism, is one that the government of President Bola Tinubu has been trying to drum into the consciousness of young Nigerians since May 29, 2023. To what extent that consistent messaging has permeated may not be truly determined at the moment, especially with the distractions and extra pressure of a bad economy and diminishing opportunities for Nigeria's youth. And with intensifying public opinion about how reckless the political class has been with the handling of the nation's resources, the jury may still be out regarding how the youth of Nigeria is taking that lesson on patriotism. We're now been joined for a chat by Oluwalanu Agusto, a writer and self-taught illustrator, for a look at her book titled The Peoples of Nigeria and how young Nigerians can be inspired to inculcate unity and cohesion. Good morning, Oluwalanu. Good to have you join us.
Good morning.
On this beautiful Sunday morning on the morning show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome indeed. So talk to us about your book, The Peoples of Nigeria. Is that your debut in terms of publishing? And then when you talk of the peoples of Nigeria, who are you trying to address and what are you trying to address?
Okay, so yes, it is my debut into publishing. It's my first book. Thank you so much. It's about the different ethnic groups. So I'm definitely trying to address like the different ethnic groups who are usually not included. And so it goes beyond Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, and goes into... Yes, so we have 36 ethnic groups. And the book takes you on a journey around Nigeria to meet different children from these ethnic groups, and they explain their culture to you. So the point of the unity and inclusion is to understand these ethnic groups and the culture.
All right then. So when you think about the current economic challenges and everything that is happening currently, in the nation, do you think that patriotism can still resonate and inspire unity, especially among the youth, the younger generation?
Definitely, I do think that. I think that this is even the time we need it the most. We feel like we need to come together as a country and support each other through the hard economy right now. And I feel as though people are able to, when it comes to things like election and things like that, like people can now come together and not allow any division to influence who they vote for and things like that. So when they understand the culture more, then those things tend to not change their decisions or alter them.
Fair enough. So since we're focusing on minor, tribes that are usually not dominating the conversation, like I come from Edo State myself, even though it's technically one of the minor tribes, we're still very well known. However, going through your book, we learn about, different tribes that I've never heard of, like the Chamba or Lelna tribes in Adamawa State. So can you speak to us a little bit about what you found interesting about these minor tribes, and if you can highlight one of these tribes that are not very popular to, I would say, maybe the Nigerian consciousness, though everyday Nigerians might not have met people from this tribe. So can you give us an example of one of these tribes and what you found interesting when you went on your journey around Nigeria?
Well, one thing that I would say is that we're all different, but we're all the same. And so these ethnic groups are not very much different from us. We all share similar values. We all value honesty and respect and all these good qualities. Aside from that, I guess let me highlight the Birom people. I went to Jos and I really enjoyed my time there. Jos people are just very welcoming and very nice, and they're always very happy when I bring up the book because they love that someone is finally talking about them and talking about their culture. And yes, there are different aspects of Birom culture that are interesting, like their architecture and their food, and we all have the different swallows that we eat, and we all have our different dances and festivals. And I would encourage people to travel around the country if they can. I know there's a bit of a safety issue, but as much as they can, and just experience, because when you experience it, is to love it even more than just reading the book.
What inspired this book? Does it have anything to do with the elections of last year and the vitriol that that trailed it?
No, it didn't have. It actually took me 4 years to finish this book, so no, it didn't. The election didn't influence it. But I think I've always been slightly obsessed about the fracture with ethnicity in the country. I feel like as children, we always hear like negative stereotypes about different ethnic groups before you hear anything positive. I don't even know if we even spread positive things, but you hear like, oh, this tribe does this and this tribe does that. And I really want this book to stop that cycle. I would love that this is the first thing that children hear about different ethnic groups, and it's a positive one. And then even if they hear negative things, they feel like, oh, but I already heard about that ethnic group and they seem like nice people.
Wow, fantastic! I really have to say congratulations again. I think this is the right step in the right direction. But if we talk about the entire process, I'm looking at all of the pictures. How we said 4 years, how much work must have gone into it, the illustrations. Can you just kind of touch on what that process was like, and also where can we find this book? Is it online?
Yes.
Where are the physical copies? Let's let's spread the word.
Yes, it took 4 years. One of the key things was, like I said, was traveling around the country to some of the states and experiencing the culture firsthand. But even for the ones that I wasn't able to, I interviewed like over 150 Nigerians from all these different ethnic groups to kind of like collate everything and be able to draw and write it from an authentic place. And it's available on my website, by Oluwalanu.com. I'm also having a book launch this weekend. And if you follow me on Instagram at Oluwalanu, you'll find more details for that. So you can buy it there.
Great.
Fantastic. Okay, so you traveled to different places across the country. You said you went to Jos. Where else did you go?
Warri, Kano, different states in the Southwest, and yeah, just trying to experience as much as possible.
Did you go by road or you flew to these places?
I flew to these places.
Because you spoke about the safety issues, and we're also talking about these economic hardships that sometimes make us feel that we're living in different countries.
Yes.
But I want to know, you spoke about being inspired to do this, but particularly you've spoken about children. And children are dominating the conversation for both good and bad reasons this week in Nigeria. And so as part of this book, I believe there's also like a workbook that kind of teaches children about other people's culture. So can you walk me through that a little bit?
Yes, so the workbook is based on the book, so it's kind of to test their knowledge of the book and make it engaging and more interesting and fun for them. I'm hoping that narrative will change next week but yes, so that's basically what it's all about.
Did you're a self-taught illustrator, right?
Yes.
So how much of that will we encounter in your book?
I drew everything myself.
Everything?
Yes.
Oh, wow. How many illustrations in total?
I don't know, hundreds, thousands? I don't know if it reached 1,000, but hundreds.
Okay, so who should pick this type of a book? Like what age range will it appeal to?
Well, I wrote it for children 7 to 11, but I have 60-year-olds buying it for themselves.
Wow.
Because so many people are saying the information inside is things that they don't know, so they want to learn. They buy it for foreigners and gift them as an introduction to Nigerian culture and Nigeria as a country. So I would say anyone who is interested in Nigerian culture can buy this book.
All right, so two additional questions for me before Shaitan comes in. How was this funded, and how? What was the marketing like beyond what you've given in terms of the answer to Shaitan's question, in terms of getting access to the book? And then secondly, did I hear you right when you said that there were 16 ethnic groups in Nigeria? Was that what you said?
No, I said there are 36 in the book.
Oh, in
out
the
of
book.
the 360.
Ah, fantastic.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's just beyond the 3 and like expanding into the different regions and a bit of a balance.
Some other people will even argue that there are more than 400 dialects in Nigeria, and therefore they will be attached to certain ethnic groups if they have their own dialect.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Sorry, your first question. Sorry, what was your first question? The funding, yes. So I did a Kickstarter, a GoFundMe type of thing, and we raised over $20,000 for the project, and that was able to help me do the marketing, the first printing run, and everything.
20,000 of 4 years ago, or 20,000 of today?
No, 4 years, 4 years ago.
Important to clarify.
So, yes, but it was nice because a lot of Nigerians, immediately I put it out, a lot of Nigerians were already so resonated with it, so happy about the project and so willing to support it.
But that's a great idea, isn't it? I mean, I've not had many people saying, oh, this is a project that I want to embark on. Can you crowdfund me or something like that? Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I mean, just touching on the fact that, we've acknowledged the sheer amount of, ethnicities that we have and the number that you have in your book. Are we expecting part 2, volume 2, volume 3, and the likes?
That'd be a documentary.
Well, you never know. Things like this can grow beyond even what, as an author, you are expecting. So I hope it grows to more than it is. I don't know about volume 2, though. I feel as though about 80% of the country has already been represented in this book, a very large percentage. So
yeah, but what does this, in finishing it and concluding it, and now you're marketing the book, what have you personally learned about the Nigerian spirit when you say that the peoples of Nigeria, who is a Nigerian to you?
I feel a Nigerian is someone who is confident, respectful, honorable. Those are our core values, and across different ethnic groups you see that. And something I've learned through marketing is that Nigerians are very nice people, very wonderful and respectful, and approaching them, even doing interviews, I have been very warmly received. And sometimes I feel like sometimes we stay in Lagos and people are upset, there's traffic, there's stress. But at the core of us, we are very warm and very loving, and that is what I've experienced about Nigerians.
That's why you were going to show something on...
Yes, because, you said there are hundreds of illustrations, but it's also very detailed to the different places. Because I recognize that as Kano just from the illustration. So let me get my hair out of the way of the book. But also there's an elephant here, and there's tea in Borno. Like, I think it's beautiful because, we always talk about our history, our culture, and the things that represent us. And
it should be Borno, isn't it?
Yes.
This... Yeah.
Oh, that's Margi.
Margi?
Yes.
Where's that?
They are in Borno and Adamawa.
Oh, really?
Yes.
See?
We're already learning. We're already learning.
You need to make sure you pick up.
So I need a copy of the book, isn't it?
So, but yes, I think I was just thinking that it's always important the stories we tell ourselves, particularly our children, about ourselves. And I think as Nigerians, that story, that narrative that we tell ourselves is often not a good one or a kind one. And I think it's very nice that you said that we're similar at our core.
Yeah.
That no matter where we go, if it's different languages, different cultures, that at the core, the Nigerian identity is one of warmth and welcome. I think that's a beautiful thing a beautiful message to spread.
What stunned you the most in the different ethnic nationalities that you encountered, particularly, one as a Yoruba person, I believe. You're Yoruba?
Well, yes, I'm mixed though.
Yoruba
Also
where?
Benin.
Okay,
So you're Yoruba and Benin?
Yes.
Okay.
My sister.
And you're also Yoruba and Benin, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so that makes you Nigerian.
Yes.
So what stunned you? Where did you encounter something fantastically memorable that you think, wow, this is, this gives me a different impression of who we are in Nigeria?
I think when I went to Kano, that was my most, I wouldn't say shocking, but it was very enjoyable and shocking in a very good way. I think I went for the Durbar Festival. I got to ride a Durbar horse. It was very interesting. My dad kept on saying that everybody needs to experience this, that it needs to even be marketed more. And I think for me, again, the people were very welcoming, very nice, and very open to share their culture and teach me about all the different things. So yeah, that has been across board, the Nigerian identity, like I said.
I mean, when I think about, I actually know of you as, someone that's in the fashion space. And then, obviously, now with the book, just kind of using your different creative outlets. How do you believe that let's say, Nigeria's rich cultural heritage and stories could be further utilized to, continue to instill pride and, and commitment to the country, especially in creative ways?
I love this question you just asked, because for me that is part of selling the African identity, and that is something I'm trying to do largely aside from this book, because I have another business called Ihunaya, and it's to sell African lifestyle. And I strongly feel that it would help the economy if we lean more towards our African identity, because that will lower our imports.
Yes.
And we sit down and we glamorize Western lifestyle so much, but if we come back to our own core and who we are, then we will produce our own things. We would be buying our own things, and that would be so much better for us, I believe.
Ihunaya, did you say?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means to love in Igbo.
Oh.
You're just out here,
But-
just doing all of the
all the things, yes. Buy the naira to grow the naira, but not just as a tagline, but as like a cultural imperative.
Yes.
In that buy Nigerian in terms of our culture, not just produced items.
Yes,
Is that
as a
what-
lifestyle.
As a lifestyle.
Yes.
What do you mean as a lifestyle, actually?
Embracing the African identity more and being like in how you represent yourself, how you decorate your home, how you live even. I think if we do that, I feel like we will see a shift. And it's already happening though, so it's not like a special phenomenon I'm bringing up, because you see like the boom of the Adere industry has been phenomenal in the last few years. So I believe more people are leaning towards it, so we just have to lean more.
How much of values and ideas like these do you think, and advocacies, by the way, do you think are needed to stem the tide of the Japa syndrome and that we are constantly, that we are witnessing at this time?
I think the only thing that can stem the Japa syndrome is the improve of the economy. To be honest, that's the only thing, because people will always go where they can get more opportunities, and I feel like the opportunities here are shrinking a bit. But so we need
A bit.
A bit.
All right, Oluwalanu, on that note, I think that we, would like to say thank you for joining us on the morning show today, and congratulations on this beautiful work, and of course on all the projects that you are involved with, Ihunaya, especially.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.